Welcome to episode 73. Obviously, we're back to the duct tape episodes for at least today and maybe the next episode. We'll see, how time shakes out. But yeah, we're making do with what we got, trying to make the best, quality that we can out of nothing. So, welcome to episode 73. Obviously, I'm not even gonna call it bittersweet. It's just bitter. It's a bitter time for us. Taty, as you guys all know, has officially left on loan. He's now in Spain, and yeah, our hearts hurt. I feel personally like Maxi's son crying in his arms. That's personally my insides right now. I don't know how you feel.
Yeah, I mean, probably everybody feels that way. This is something we've expected for a long time, though, and I thought that the fact that we've known about that it was coming for like a year would have softened the blow a little bit. But the NYCFC social media team just working overtime to produce content that just rips your heart out of your chest has been, making it tough to scroll through Twitter when you start seeing the exit interview and then, the behind the scenes from the game drops, and then you start seeing Girona content, and it's just like a roller coaster that's only going down. At least at the moment. I will say today it kind of took an upswing because we just got to watch the Red Bulls lose 5-1 to Orlando in a semifinals. Unfortunately, it was only in front of like 12 to 15 of their fans. But either way, it's always a good day when the Bulls lose. So
yeah, like you said, watching the videos of all the Taty exit stuff. Coming from a person who knows very little Spanish, who cannot read, and you're still finding a way to make me emotional. It's like
cannot read English.
Cannot read English. Yeah, so all the cards are stacked against me, and you're still finding a way to make me emotional with your stuff. So, hats off to the media team for NYCFC for the good send off for him. He deserved it. Obviously, people were talking about retiring the 11. I don't think we should retire. If we didn't retire David Villa's jersey, we're not going to retire anybody's. Plain and simple.
Yeah, and in that final interview, Taty kind of left it open. I think I didn't want to go too crazy about it on Twitter or talk about it at all, but at the end of the interview, he said, "I hope I can come back and make more memories in the future." Which I don't know if that just means like he'll stop by to say hi or come watch a game, or if he's like, I'm gonna lace up the cleats and put the city blue back on for you guys eventually. But obviously either way, he would be welcome back. So.
Oh, easily, yeah. If he wants to, consider us his boyhood club and come back to us when he's old and gray, more the power to him. There will always be a spot for him in this team. Same with a few of the other guys that have left and gone overseas.
And it was a great game to send him off in. I mean, the game started on Twitter, I think, beforehand. It was funny, we talked the last couple episodes how we got a break with FC Dallas because their fans were normal people that you wouldn't mind hanging around with. And then like before the Miami game, all of a sudden we're just getting grilled for playing on the usual baseball stadium, the small banner stuff. And you just, you wish that they had a time machine to understand what was coming like we did before the game even kicked off. Like, you don't poke a bear like us, especially in the
form that we're in.
In the form that we're in the scenes of us coming into the game, knowing it's Taty's last game and his farewell match. I mean, I personally, before the game, would have told you we would have put like 5 or 6 on him, and we probably could have if we finished, some of our chances. Or if the refs knew how to call onsides and offsides. But, we still, convincingly beat them and all around had a good send off for him.
Yeah, it was a beautiful game to send them off. And, realistically, for us to get a dub for him would have been perfect. Obviously, he scored. I'm going to count it as a goal. I don't care. He scored. He had the assist. Heber does his celebration for him. Him going off in the 60th minute. I was a little, I don't know, the actual send off of him walking off the field was a little lackluster for me. I when I dreamed of it, it was, much, much bigger and better than that. But he's a humble dude. He's not gonna sit there and take 10 years to come off the pitch. So I can't really blame him for that. But you would have liked it maybe in the 76th, 80th minute, for him to really finish out the game. But then again, you see him with the ice pack on the back of his leg at the end of the game. So maybe it's that muscle aggravation that he had. I mean, clearly today didn't show he went and scored, but maybe it's those things that factored into it. I have no idea.
Yeah, and Cushing, I think after the game said it was because of the heat. But it is what it is at the end of the day. I mean, like you said, his assist, and I think even more so than that, it's like Maxi's finish through the keeper's legs, and then for Heber to go on and score the goal, it was like a good, like, we're going to be okay without him, leaning on guys like Maxi and Heber and them showing it, like literally Taty passing the torch almost in a way in the game. And then like Heber hitting his celebration, I think was the moment for me where like the switch really flipped, where I was like, oh man, this dude is gone. Yeah,
he's gone. Yeah. And, I just think it was good. It was fun seeing the team come alive for him and really try to put everything out there to get a dub for him in his last game. I think you saw maybe the most together that team's ever been, and the majority of those dudes want to chip together. And they really, really came together for Taty, it's a beautiful sight. And, a guy like that deserves it. So, obviously hats off to Taty. I'm not sure if you have any more to go on with Taty. I'd maybe like to talk a little bit about the post-Tati era, the what now situation that we're all kind of in. I know there's been tons of debate on, what is to be expected from guys like Heber and, Talis Magno on Twitter. I'm interested in your thoughts.
Yeah, well, one last thing on the Inter game. I told you before the recording that there was a story I wanted to tell you about. I'm not sure if you had seen it on Twitter or not. But like you said, it wasn't just the goal scorers, Maxi and Heber, that came together for him. There were a lot of other dudes on the team that went and put up in class performance. And I think one of those dudes was Alfredo, for sure. And obviously the MLS dropped their, player of the week voting or whatever. And Mr. Morales, not Alfredo, potentially his father or his grandpa or somebody in Alfredo's life, tweeted like a little paragraph at the MLS. Like Alfredo had a 98.3% like passing completion or something and he had, X number of passes or whatever, to the point where like that was a stat that really drove home that he quietly put together at least a player of the week performance that was worth talking about. And that like got sent in the NYCFC group chat, and like I retweeted it from our account just to like shine some praise on Alfredo. But then unfortunately Mr. Morales deleted it. So I don't know if that was a little bit too like Hollywood, or we were just exposing too much to Mr. Morales. If you ever see this, I apologize. We obviously love your son. Only trying to get him those votes or get him that recognition that he rightfully deserves.
Oh, definitely. And that's not like a Baker Mayfield and OBJ type situation where it's causing any problems. If anything, causing problems on the heads of people who don't really watch the sport, who don't really see the games, and vote for dudes like Carlos Vela to win Player of the Year for MLS. Those type of dudes. Funny because
I could imagine like being him in that situation, being like, yo, my son just balled out and like he's not getting any recognition. I could like totally relate to that. So I thought that was kind of cool. And, like,
I would be that dad.
Yeah.
I'd be that dad.
Your dad was that dad. Think of football. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So that's how it goes. I'll say this randomly came to my mind, but to me, I was, thinking about who my next NYCFC jersey would be. And I think I landed on Alfredo. So I see him being around for a little while. Obviously, he's been solid for a while, and I've probably brought it up on this podcast like a billion times. But like when he had that first interview and he said word for word, like, I will go out on that field and die for the club. It's like, well, I mean, we have a dog, and he's not leaving us ever. That's like when we had the captain talks. He was like a name that I threw in the hat way back when all that was happening. But
when he first started,
Yeah, I mean, just an attitude like that, he wasn't even necessarily at that point backing it up with his play consistently every single game, and it's still, the passion and love that you bring to the club that can sometimes drive fandom too.
Yeah, I would say a smart choice would be either of the Moraleses to go for the next jersey. Me personally,
You already tied
coming
up Talas.
coming on Tuesday, I believe is confirmation Tuesday. This guy right here, I had to plug the box. I had to flash the box. This guy right here, his jersey's coming in that beautiful, beautiful orange. I'm trying to think because I ordered. Okay, I will. Just a quick little tangent here. I ordered a size that's not necessarily going to fit me today. It's going to fit the human I would like to be.
Okay.
And so, it may be a wall decoration for a while until, we reach those standards that we set for ourselves.
It's motivation.
It is motivation, yeah. I got to work to get into that Talos jersey. And so, yeah, I'm more excited for that than I am to open this box here.
Yeah, and it's nice to flash the box for those that might not follow us on Twitter and are just watching this on YouTube or listening on whatever platform you like to listen to podcasts to. We did go out and get a MLS hobby box. So there's how many cards are in that thing? A lot.
There is
like 180 or something like that.
24 times 8.
Yeah, that's more math than I'm gonna do right now.
172? No.
No, it's like 200. But we a little bit different than the regular content that we do, obviously with the podcast and the shorts that you see. We've been getting into a little bit of trading cards, or I've been getting into it. You've been a little bit of aficionado for a little while. So we're gonna be opening that up, filming it, seeing if we get any crazy pulls there with the autographs or the jerseys. So stay locked on the YouTube for that.
Yeah, we're looking for the autographs or relics of anybody NYCFC. Realistically,
there's a Maxi in there.
Yeah, there's a Maxi. There's a Sean Johnson. Realistically, just trying to build my NYCFC personal collection. Obviously, I collect the NYCFC and Manchester United cards mainly, but yeah, I mean, we're excited to get that thing open and just get into a new community that seems endless. I mean, you could literally find endless videos on this stuff. So
yeah, but yeah, I mean, we can get a little bit into that, that post-Tati era now. We've talked about it at length in a number of episodes about what we think is going to go on. So I don't think anybody is too foreign to what our ideas are. I think obviously it's run Heber until the wheels fall off, or if the wheels aren't turning correctly, then you find a way to potentially slot Talas into that 9. I'm not sure personally that the club sees a striker as like a transfer target. We've been hearing a lot of talk about the number 8 role and stuff like that. So I think the roster that we have right now is going to be sort of what our attacking options are looking like through the MLS Cup. Yeah,
I mean, somebody who surprised me, not necessarily in MLS games, but in MLS Next Pro games, is somebody that we kind of joked about when we saw a certain tweet that said, now with Tati leaving, a certain somebody has to step up. And, I was right there with you laughing.
I actually forgot. Who was it?
Jason.
Oh, Jason. Yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, I was joining in on the banter that, he's a right wing back that's really playing right back. And I saw him finish a ball very, very well with the pass from Gloucester, and that just flipped a switch. That I was like, oh, wait, no, he was a winger. He was an attacker that we just forced into a role that he probably didn't want to be in the first place. He just wanted minutes on the field. And it just showed that little flash of potential that I was like, okay, wait, the guy who tweeted that might have been onto something that, if Talas isn't exactly working out, if Heber isn't exactly working out, and we need a striker for a game that we don't need a full strength squad, I fully believe that Jason can fill that role.
Yeah, and I think, some of what I've thought is, when it comes to buying somebody new, there's always a risk that comes with it. Or you're making an investment. And, when you have somebody like Heber who has already proven himself to be above the average striker in the MLS, or Tales, who obviously, if given the opportunity, would probably also be an above average striker because he's an above average winger, which is, exactly what we did with Taty. Or even Jason, or, maybe a Kevin O'Toole that can come in and be average or just below it. You can get by with these guys without going out there and splashing on somebody that could literally come in and be a bust because they have no history within the league in most cases. Yeah, I mean, could anybody have predicted that? And then but then you see the Bales that come into the league and end up scoring a goal in their debut, so it's such a hit or miss. Yeah, who's crazy.
Who had the Trivella assisted?
Or was it Bernadeschi that assisted Michael Bradley?
I think the Trivella outside of the foot.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Yeah. I will say, to me, when it comes to purchasing or not and stuff, I do think away fans wouldn't want to admit it, and I think I am happy to admit it, that with the Chiellinis and the Gareth Bales and the Matuidis and Higuains and Bernadeschis and Assignes of the world that end up coming to the MLS, I feel proud that we won an MLS Cup without having to rely on that model of whatever we call it, MLS 1.0, MLS 2.0. And I think that's something to really hang your hat on. And if we can do something again or make a splash again without having to, rely on some retiring Euro, that to me is, where the club's mindset's at, where our mindset is at as well. So,
yeah, I mean, if taking a Gareth Bale on the team means, we repeat, honestly, I take it. I'm not hiding behind any we did it the right way. If that happens, I don't care. I'm being loud on Twitter. I don't care. But yeah, I mean, it does bring pride that we don't have to do that to stay relevant, to stay competing, and to stay really close to the top of the East. That does bring pride. I think it's really, outside of Inter, it's been mainly the West Coast teams doing that type of stuff.
Yeah, and let me not sound all high and mighty, because the first dude that I was bought into that's older and European was Luis Suarez. I was actually totally on board for that, and I was following the rumors and blowing up the group chat.
I genuinely believe if Luis Suarez would have come to this league, he would have literally set records in these 8 games.
Mm-hmm. In the half season.
Record. Easily, that man.
I mean, with the dogs on our team that are providing him, opportunities.
Yeah,
different. I mean, he would catch up to whatever the record for Maxi and Taty as a duo are fairly quickly.
You think 8 games, 2 a game, he'll brace a game. He's at 16. He's a Golden Boot winner. And genuinely, I'm not even gassing him. That is within him to do. Mm-hmm. Whether it's, he gets a hat trick one game and 1 goal another game and 2 goals next game. I genuinely think he could average about 2 goals a game.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is with these older dudes is it's always in them, obviously, but it just really boils down to, what their motivation is and what they're willing to give to the club. Because, I genuinely think some of them are hey, I'm going to go to America and get paid a couple $1 million, be a superstar, and treat it, as a legit, a retirement or a vacation, because that's what has been hammered into people's heads about the MLS for the last 20 years.
Not only that, but I think the guys like Higuain, I think that in his brain, he's so good. He even had this type of mentality when he was at the Serie A club, both clubs that he was at, that, he could show up overweight, show up out of shape, and he would know that he would come in and score 20 goals if it didn't matter.
Yeah.
I think he flat out said that in an interview before. And, so obviously when he looks at MLS, he thinks, I'll treat that like a training. And, that's just training for me. And he got a harsh reality that is not the case.
And that's why Inter Miami has all that star power and are sitting at the dead bottom of the league in attendance. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
And then very high up in away game attendance, because everybody knows if Inter Miami rolls into town, you get to watch your boys go and score 3-4 against them. So
it's like the FC Cincinnati of last year.
Yeah, pretty much the wooden spoon guys. But I mean, upcoming we have Montreal on Saturday. You guys are probably getting this sometime on Thursday, so a little bit of time before that one. Montreal is obviously away, so it could be a tough one. I hope we don't go into any kind of Taty leaving hangover. The team is obviously in great form, 4 wins, 3 clean sheets from Sean John, who I think personally is putting, and you'll probably agree with me, putting together a goalkeeper of the year season at this point.
For my personal collection's sake, I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. He's been insane. He's a huge part of the win last week. To seal that for Taty was him making some incredible saves. One of them, I think VAR would have saved him, but some of the other ones were just insane saves. One, I think he just literally stood still and it bounced off his chest, which sadly there's no. I've not seen any replays of that, but insane save, just to be in the right position. He's probably going to see a little bit of time where he's going to backpack us, and we may be in like a 1-0, 2-1 type of range for a while until we figure out, how to score without Taty. That was a big problem last year. It's become a problem now again because he's gone, and I'm excited to see what happens. That's all.
Yeah, I think you're right that, the seasons are long and we're probably due at least one more downswing. Realistically, it sort of happens with us and with everybody. You get burnt out after playing so many games and performing at such a high level. So, we'll sail through that, hopefully still be, as high up the table as we can be, and, coast into those playoffs with Cushing and see what this dude is all about when it comes to knockout games.
Yeah, and he's no stranger to big games. He's no stranger to that, and I think he's finally finding his stride and his command of the team. I just hope that things go in the right direction. We don't sit and cry about Taty. We don't get too deep of a slump that we need like a goody type free kick to really kick us back into shape. But at the end of the day, if we're in the playoffs, like we've said last year and the year before that, we're in the playoffs.
Yeah. So, bless you. You muted for it. That's crazy.
I had to. I literally had to. There's no way I'm editing that out.
All right. Well, that'll probably do it for episode 73. Appreciate you guys if you made it this long. We could have been talking for an hour at this point. I have no clue. I was in charge of the timer, and I just don't think I set one.
I think it's been about 20 minutes, 22 minutes, which
that's fair.
Honestly, when we do this style of episode, I don't feel so bad waffling because I know it's my responsibility to look after it. So at the end of the day, I'll waffle on.
Yeah. Well, up here, give us a sub on your preferred audio-only platform if subscribing exists there. And then a follow on Twitter. That is, obviously the spot that we preach is the place to go. Get updates on us or, on the team within the community, and just talk if you guys want to talk about the team. So,
yeah. And then, just look out for sometime soon, like we said, our pack opening that we're going to do for the MLS Hobby Box. Hopefully get some NYCFC content in there. And yeah, go from there. And
I was going to say, considering the dollars spent on NYCFC specific cards for me, trying to begin my card collection since I'm a little bit behind you, there will be NYCFC content for her.
Yeah, which there's a lot of things in there that I personally haven't seen. I got a sneak preview of a couple of them today, but yeah, what's cool about your part of that video is going to be me absolutely not knowing what cards you purchased for $150, and
I wasn't gonna
kind of
drop the
just
number,
seeing what you
but
did. Oh, sorry.
no, I don't care.
I mean, I
mean,
got
it's less.
this at a discount for $60, so we'll get
I was
another one
gonna
and
say.
we'll equal it out.
I was gonna say it's less than what our wallets were hit for when we won the MLS Cup for sure, because that was
yeah.
you know, the wallets had to have a nice long hard think after that one about, you know, what happened.
Well, and that we actually made those purchases pre-celebration.
Pre-Dave and Buster's, yeah.
We were absolutely
We were just
free-minded,
fueled on life at that
humans.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fueled on victory.
So yeah, we will see you guys next week. Obviously, like he said, follow on anything that you listen to a podcast. Follow us on Twitter. That's the key to the NYCFC community. There's rumblings that there's going to be some really, really cool stuff coming up, and we'd love to share that with you guys on Twitter. So we'll see you guys then.